In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Purchase Invoice module. First, click on Purchase and Purchase Invoice. As you can see here, this is a list of your previous purchase invoices. And if you want to create a new invoice, you can click on Add New Item over here. After you click on it, you will be redirected to a page where you have to fill in all information regarding this purchase invoice. First, let's choose a supplier. Say XYZ Distributions. After I search for him, click on the name over here. And the system will auto-fill in all information that you filled in during the supplier module. Next, if there is a vehicle associated with this supplier, you can just key it in here as well. Say ABC111, and here you go, just click on the model, and the system will also autofill the information you inserted in the vehicle module. Now, let's say the current supplier that is associated with this purchase invoice you're trying to create doesn't exist in your system. Well, no worries, you can just click on New Supplier over here and add his entry in the Supplier Master module. Same thing goes for the vehicle. You can just create a new vehicle entry over here by clicking on this. And after you're done, just click on Save and you can search it out over here. After you're done filling in all these fields, let's move on to item information. And here we'll enter in the item code that is in this purchase invoice. Let's say I want to buy a tire, XM2, and I click on the item code. And the system, as you can see, will autofill all information that you've entered in the maintain stock module when you created this item entry. And just like the supplier and vehicle just now, you can also click on new inventory to add a new item entry. As for the description, you can keep it as is, or you can edit it by yourself, or you can click on the arrow over here and choose from multiple descriptions if you have added them during the add item process. Moving on, fill in the quantity of the item that you bought from the supplier. Fill in the unit price, let's say it's 200. Your UOM, unit of measurement. Discounts, if any. A remark. Your accounts. Keep in view. And how many items are free of charge, if any. The location. And if tax is included, and click on Add. Now, let's say there's an item that is free of charge. There are two ways you can go about this. Either you count this item as part of your purchase, so it will be 0 and 11 over here, and you recalculate the average unit price, which would be 2000 divided by 11, which is 181.82, and you can update it over here. Or if you don't want to do this step, you can just skip it entirely and act as if the item is just free and not count it into the average unit price. So I'll just add 1 over here. After you're done, click on Add. And the item entry will appear here, and you can edit the item information, click on update, or delete it as you see fit. And down here, the system will calculate for us the total amount for this purchase invoice. And if you notice that there is a difference from this purchase invoice than your supplier invoice, it is very likely that your supplier has a sales tax and you forgot to add it to your unit price over here. So usually it's 8%, so don't forget to add in the 8% in this unit price. If we calculate it correctly, 200 times 1.08, the 8%, will be 216. So over here, we'll need to update it to 216. Now, what if you didn't want to do this? What if you wanted to keep the original 200? Well, there's another way you can do that as well. You can just go to item code, search for tax. And since the supplier is taxing you, you just click on supplier.tax and fill in the exact same quantity you're buying. So let's say 10. And then the tax amount, which is 16, and click on Add. As you can see here, the total will be updated accordingly, and you need to make sure that this total amount is exactly the same as the supplier invoice. So after you're done here, you can go to shipping info and fill in other information such as delivery date, the delivery time, and delivery remark for future reference. And after you're done everything here, let's move on to payments over here. So let's say you gave the supplier a deposit. Well, just choose your payment type. Let's say you give a deposit using cash and fill in your amount. Let's say you gave around 500 for deposit. And from your account, which account is it? Give him through, let's say, an e-wallet. And you can fill in the payment info for future references and click on Add. As you can see, the payment will appear here. So after you're done filling in all the information for this purchase invoice, just click on Save. And as you can see here, our purchase invoice has appeared in the list. And you can choose to print it out by clicking on this, and it will redirect you to the printing page. Or you can copy it so that it will be easier for you to fill in another purchase invoice with similar items or similar suppliers, since it duplicates the exact information of the purchase invoice that you copied from. Now keep in mind, if your supplier gives you the same invoice but for different items, you should check allow duplicate here so you can fill in the supplier invoice number with the exact same numbers without the system showing an error. Keep in mind, while the supplier invoice number might be the same, the purchase number will always be different. After you're done filling in everything, you can click on save, but in this case I won't since I'm not creating another purchase invoice. Moving on, let's say I wanted to update the information of my last purchase invoice. I can just click on the invoice number over here and I'll be brought to the edit page where I can change information about this particular invoice. So after I'm done changing everything, I'll just click on save and the purchase invoice will be updated. And let's say I wanted to print multiple purchase invoices at once. I don't need to click on them one by one. I can just tick the boxes over here and click on print purchase invoice to batch print them. Moving on, what if you wanted to search for particular invoices? Well, you can use these two search bars over here. So you might be wondering what's the difference between the bottom search bar and the top search bar. Well, the bottom search bar is more generic while the top search bar is more specific. So let's say I type in 12 down here. The system will return to me all rows with 12 in any of their columns. So what if I type 12 in purchase number over here? Click on search. As you can see here, the system will only return to me purchase invoices with 12 in their purchase number. When you're searching for invoices, make sure to pay extra attention to the date ranges you've set over here since it will affect the purchase invoices that the system returns to you. So if some of your purchase invoices from before are not appearing, this might be the reason. Now moving on to personalized column over here, once you turn it on, you will be able to enable or disable certain columns in the list. So let's say you don't want to see delivery date in your list, you can just turn it off and vice versa. And you can reorder them according to your liking. After you're done, just click on update and the list will be updated accordingly. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching.